We are camping, but I can assure you this is not the classic camping and caravanning club. Don't get drunk, don't get drunk, don't get drunk, don't get drunk. But we are in the woods. It's good for the soul. Rich from Bug Out Vehicles over there. It's his birthday. That's what the meetup's about. He's getting a tattoo. Don't want you purists saying you shouldn't get a tattoo in the woods. He knows you shouldn't get a tattoo in the woods, but he's a big boy. He can make his own decisions. Such a variation of vehicles here. There's a Land Rover. There's a massive truck, Lee's truck. I can show you a little slice of that, but I can't show you too much because Rich is doing a tour on his channel of that, so you can have a sneak peek. Got a Defender ambulance, 3 Sprinter 4x4s, all 906s. Very, very similar. Great bunch of lads. Pete from Overland Van, Jake's Overland Adventures. He's building that on a bit of a budget. He won't mind me saying that. So he's building a van and he hasn't got a pot of gold to do it. So that might be worth it. You know, like IKEA kitchen, that kind of thing. A few hacks here and there, go check that out. Rich's van is now looking proper dapper. Got to tell you, I haven't seen Rich since he's had these vinyls done, and they make a massive difference. I know he's not the first one to do the honeycomb, but the fact that he's got some solid, some hollow, that just breaks the van up for him a bit, because he is a bit of a bug out kind of guy. The silver was a bit of a blot on the landscape, he was telling me, so the black just, it's not camouflage by any stretch of the imagination, but look at it. I mean, that is a fantastic looking van. That is a fantastic van. And Overland Van, very capable once again. I mean, they are the same vehicle, but these boys are willing to drive them. Absolute wealth of knowledge, these two. I've known Rich since I very first started my YouTube journey, and he's helped me out from day one. So happy birthday, mate, but also a massive thank you. And I'm just grateful now, hopefully, considering I've got a tiny bit better at all this YouTube thing, that we are now reciprocating that help. So happy birthday, mate, and thank you. Another really cool expedition vehicle. This is a 127 or a 130 Land Rover Defender ambulance. Absolutely cracking bit of kit, but once again, this is someone that is converting to the van life. The owner of this is selling, if you're interested, because he's getting a van, a Transit L2 H2 4-wheel drive, he hopes. So the van thing, I believe, is slowly taking over all of these, because they are nowadays as capable as you would probably need them to be. Overlanding Wolf, I'll put all of the tags below if you want to see more of these. Pretty much everyone has an Instagram handle. This is Jake's van from Jake's Overland Adventures. This is a Sprinter 4x4. Once again, he has an off-road background, always been into his 4x4s, discos and Defenders and things like that. I think he has seen what Rich is doing in his Sprinter 4x4, the level of comfort, but then also keeping the capability, and he's opted to go for a Sprinter 4x4. Looks absolutely cracking. He has his own YouTube channel, like I mentioned. Video on the IKEA kitchen is doing really well, so if you are looking for budget hacks and things like that, go give him a follow. I see that Jake also has a Lifesaver. Now, I have one in black because that's cool. I use it at the moment as my water system. I do have a water tank under the van, but because I'm not quite sure what direction my van is going to end up in, I haven't committed to adding the pump and the plumbing and things like that. So literally, I fill up that lifesaver before I go. I fill up at home. You've got water basically on tap all weekend. But the beauty of that is you can literally fill the thing up anywhere. It's got a filter inside it. It's literally like an apocalyptic thing. I've seen Rich fill this thing up from like swamp water. I don't advise you do that, but apparently you can do that, like muddy puddles and things like that. So there's a lake up the road. I could literally fill my lifesaver up with lake water, and the filter inside it will ensure that I'm drinking clean water. That's pretty cool.
No. Actually, don't worry about the water. I'm going to cash
Drop run in the Pinzgauer. Now, if you don't know what a Pinzgauer is, it's one of these. Now, this is the second time that I've had the opportunity to have a run out in the Pinzgauer, and the first time was in the quarry. Now, I did get lots of onboard footage. All you could see was dashboard, headliner, because this thing, he has no objection to doing 60 miles an hour over terrains that we would probably all want to do at about 10 or 30 miles an hour. This thing is so capable, it'll blow your mind, and it looks and sounds absolutely gorgeous. Can we get a bit geeky while we're driving and tell the viewers a snapshot of what they really need to know about this motor, Liam?
Right, driveline, that's the major selling point of this vehicle. It's not a ladder chassis, it's a tubular chassis essentially. It's an old Austrian design that the British have perfected. And by that, they didn't perfect anything, they just made everything bigger. But it means that the suspension itself is all independent with no upper or lower control arms, so it's incredibly strong and it allows you to cover terrain as fast as you want pretty much. It was designed as a rally truck essentially from ground up, so it moves across terrain faster than most other vehicles that you could buy factory.
So it goes like stink, not just over like off-terrain kind of stuff. I mean, we're shifting now probably faster than I would take my transport around these bends. Whoa! I had to stick my feet in the footwell and stop my head going through the windscreen. The brakes on this thing are mental. This is two-wheel drive. How did you explain that?
So, it's a four-wheel drive system that runs pneumatically off vacuum. So it's rear-wheel drive until you tell it to be four-wheel drive. But the trick part is, if that system ever fails, it defaults to four-wheel drive. So the more you brake it, the better it gets.
So when you brake it, the more capable it becomes. It's absolutely insane. So if you look at it and you think, well, that's an old motor, something's definitely going to break. If it did break, it will definitely still get you home no matter where you are. Honestly, this thing is absolutely bonkers. So you do get some looks just going to the local one-stop for some groceries in that thing, let me tell you. But honestly, the smile on my face. I thought, the reason I wanted a little run out to Tesco is because when we went round the quarry, everything feels fast. And he is willing to absolutely go crazy in that thing. But I wanted to know what it was like on the road, because it's all right hanging around a quarry, but how often do you do that? That thing goes like absolute stink and seems to stop on a dime. It doesn't compute that is as good on the road as that is.
I'd say, what a hell of a bit of kit this is. Fantastic looking kit, thank you very much.
It's not mine, it's that gentleman's in the front.
Is it? I've not seen one before. It's pretty impressive. I bet it's good in the rivers, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty good in the rivers. Would you know what this was called, mate? Best guess at what this... No, this the truck, not the microphone.
Microphone? Oh, right. No, I wouldn't have a clue. I wouldn't have a clue. I was looking to see what it was when they came in. Well, first of all, I thought it was a bit of a Porsche or something, some mad off-road vehicle. A pooch, whatever that is.
A Pinzgauer.
Pinzgauer.
It's a Pinzgauer. Do you like it?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a fantastic bit of kit. Looks like it'll go through rivers.
I told you, mate, you cannot go somewhere and not be stopped. I told you. Every time.
Ex-reconnaissance man. I think he just takes joy in sending me ahead now. I don't know if that's an in-joke, but it's like, yeah, go 200 yards up there. And I'll come flying past you, mate. It'll be min. I'm puffing. That is the most fun I have had in a vehicle in for as long as I can remember. I did not expect it to be anywhere near as good as an actual driving vehicle as that was. Honestly, I did record some bits, and I think because this is a new camera, I haven't managed to keep them. But I did ask Liam a few different questions. MPG, because I thought you guys might want to know that kind of thing. 25 miles per gallon on a run, which for a truck like that isn't absurd, if I'm honest. My big Mercedes Sprinter probably gets that on a run, if I'm truthful with you. And also, believe it or not, and this threw me, that was made in 2003. I had a Citroen Saxo VTR that was made in 2001 when I was a younger man, and that was made in 2003. I'm surprised. For some reason I thought it was from the 80s or something like that, but even though it's designed like this, in this manner, almost like an updated Land Rover 101, it's only 20 years old. It's absolutely fantastic, and you can't take it anywhere without people smiling at it or taking pictures or asking questions. When I got invited to go camping this weekend, I thought to myself, I am going to use the Bluetti fridge while I'm there, and I wanted to put it to the test. It's all right using things on your driveway and putting them in the shed and seeing how long it lasts. How does it last in the real world, how we're actually going to use them? So what I did, filled it before I left, and I got it pretty much down to temperature, put my beers in it the night before, some of my water. I travelled down with battery 1 inside it. When I got here, I put battery number 2 from the power bank in it. So Friday afternoon at about 3:30 p.m, this had a fresh battery in it, filled with food and drink at 100%, or it's actually on 97%, and I wanted to see how long it will last on battery power. No solar input, because that is variable. The amount of food and drink you put in it is variable. This is the conditions that I'm in. Just so you know, it's sat there in the back of the van, not plugged in, no solar power. We're now pretty much 24 hours down. Don't know if my gimbal will tell me. It's on 77% after 24 hours. It's pretty good. And I'm asking this to be -2 degrees. That's less than a fridge would usually be. But it's been 24 hours and it's used about 20%. Based on that, it will last 5 days like that. I'm here for another night, so I'm gonna see what it's like when I leave tomorrow. But I think that's pretty cool, because all the while, what you could be doing, sun's out, even though we're in the woods, you could be charging your battery pack via solar. I mean, you can put solar straight into the fridge, don't get me wrong, but you could be charging this while you're driving via solar, anything you like, and then when that battery in the fridge is done, just swap them out. I think it's going to be a cool bit of kit. And I think, I don't know this firsthand, this is just a guess, I think they're going to bring out more appliances that share the same battery. So once you buy into this setup, once you buy into this system, there's more to come. You know, I don't know if there's gonna be air conditioners and things like that. Get on the Bluetti train. So here's my little lifesaver. By the way, it's about time JetBoil actually shared anything that I do. But yeah, here's my lifesaver. Not a paid promotion or anything like that. I just like it because you probably hold it with the other hand, but you pump it on there. Got a little twist tap on there. I've actually even got a little shower hose connection, so you can like wash your pots down and things like that. And you could probably use it as a shower, like an outdoor shower. And it probably, I'm just spitballing here, but because it's black, if you left that in the sun, it'd probably get warm as well. That little off-grid setup there, absolutely love it. It's got my little camp kitchen there, which pretty much comes with everything. This is a front runner product. I think it's about 50 quid, and you basically get 4 of everything, including a chopping board and a few really sharp cutting knives, which is quite cool. Got my worktop, a little water source there for washing up and things like that, and my JetBoil for making brews. Absolutely love it. I've been so slack with videos, I've been so slack with trying to make content on the tables. Honestly, I've had it all going on. You wouldn't believe it, but for one moment, Me and my whole family were moving to Australia, and that is genuine. Things have been absolutely crazy in my household, so I am sorry if you've missed me. Thank you to everyone that's reached out and said, "Is everything all right, mate? I've not heard from you." Thank you. Everything is absolutely golden, living the absolute dream. I've just been busy building outhouses so that I can build these tables not on my dining room table and things like that, honestly. And I know that I've totally neglected to tell you guys about the new bag. So this is a bag for my own product. The wheel table can now be stored in this Cordura bag. It's got the UAO brand in the middle there. This pocket in the front is for the chopping board, and I'm now selling them as a bundle. So the table, the bag, the board, 2 clips and 2 stickers, $399.99 delivered. That cannot stay that way forever, and I'm not just trying to create scarcity so that everyone goes and buy one. That would be great, but the cost of everything keeps going up, and I'm trying to make this good for you guys and also worthwhile for me. That is a deal. That is a deal to steal the sale of the century. Just protects that table, because the tables are valuable and they are just powder coated aluminium. They're strong, but metal against metal is always going to create scuffs and things like that. So you may as well protect what you love. And that bundle, $399.99. It's quite funny, we're all off down to Camp 2. There's almost like 2 sections in this woodland that they've made. We say that one's for drinking and one's for eating. Back down where I had breakfast, you've got all these men with big beards walking through the woods with their crockery, a plate, a bowl, a knife and a fork, and some poppadoms, because tonight is curry night.
It's so easy to do as well.
I've just demolished a massive bowl of chicken curry made by Stu, one of Rich's close friends, cooked on an open fire. Absolutely gorgeous. What I've noticed is basically it's eating and drinking, but everyone's having a great time. I mean, the weather, absolutely stunning weekend here in the woods. I've missed this. I've needed to camp this year. Only been out a couple of times, just been way too busy. I was just about to explain how helpful everyone is and how willing.
You stood right in the middle of the way, you're inconsiderate. You.
Now he knows I can't use that because he's just sworn, so why has he done that?
Beep it.
Just beep, that's extra editing.
I know it's not your strongest point.
Oh, a big belly full of chicken curry, and then lamb curry, and then garlic naans on the open fire. Absolutely cracking dinner. Thank you, Stu. Back off to Camp B for a couple of beers and watch the sun go down, because it's been absolutely beautiful here in the woods. I've got to remind you guys how good for the soul camping really can be. I've missed it. I've not been out nearly enough this year. I've just had way too much on, but all things related to this thing that I'm doing, believe me. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but stay tuned, because we've got some cool stuff on the horizons. Case in point. This month's edition of Volkswagen T Magazine, that is the July number 146 edition. If you flick to the back page, it will say Aidan Kelly's Mucky Up for Anything. Go Anywhere T6 Full Motion. The van. I know I just said I'm on the back page and it says meet Aidan Kelly, Mucky Up for Anything. That's not the message. All jokes aside, because I am in the segment that advertises next month's edition of Volkswagen T Magazine, I believe that means that we are going to be on the front cover of a magazine. I know we live in a digital world, but listen, I've had cars, motorbikes, and I've always been interested in the magazines of that genre. So I've had Max Power, I've had Fast Car, I've had Fast Bike, all of them. Now it seems that we could be on the front cover. Honestly, thank you to everyone for your support up to now and the continued support. It does mean so much. Now it's time to just chill out, watch the sun go down and have a little sup. to suggest that I didn't need to finish my bottle of wine in my van late last night on my own, listening to some banging tunes. But that's what I wanted to do, and I enjoyed every single second of it. Slight regrets. The pack down, now that I've got pop-top covers, windscreen covers, got my table on, sleeping bags need to go back in bags, takes a bit longer than I actually like. Don't take ages, but if it's raining this morning, for example, if it was to rain this morning, that becomes a lot more hag. Just grateful that it's just a cloudy kind of nothing day. This was just a bit of a camp out just to show you guys that I'm still alive. I've also, in amongst all of the things that I've had going on, I've had EGR problems on the T6. Some YouTubers may choose to make some kind of dramatic video about breakdowns and costly repairs and things like that. I'm not all about that. I feel people come here for a bit of an escapism as opposed to seeing what real life can actually throw at people. It was £1,200 worth of repairs. You can do an EGR delete, which is basically a remap, and tell the computer that the EGR valve doesn't even exist. I'm not really about that. I'm on the internet telling people how to do things to their camper vans honestly, and one day I come to sell this, I don't want to be the guy that's had his EGR valve deleted. It was £1,200. You get a 12-month warranty. If you change every part of the EGR valve, you get 12 months with Volkswagen. So, if it fails in the next 12 months, you can take it to Volkswagen and they will fix it. There's a whole video saved there on an EGR valve, and it happens because when I phoned TPS and I said, have you got any in stock? They said, yeah, we keep loads, because it always happens. How unfair is that when it was £900 worth of parts? Rant over. Let's move on. A few of us remaining, and we're going to move some vans around and take some cool pictures, and that is the good thing when you are going camping with other content creators. We've got a couple of YouTubers, but also people with other social media pages that like to get cool photos. So we're going to line up these cool motors, take some pictures, and hopefully get a few good shots. Look how aggressive these look. Absolutely cracking. Do head over and follow Rich from Bug Out Vehicles. He takes this thing absolutely everywhere. It's mind-blowing. One more thing to do, and that is to test what percentage the Blue Yeti F045D, catchy, is at when I get home, because it's about midday now. By the time I get home, it's probably gonna be about 3 o'clock, and that will be 48 hours of use. Cut to my driveway, maybe? What I really need is a nice hot bath and an hour's kip. That would be awesome. That's not what I'm gonna get. What I'm gonna get is to go swimming, I expect, with my little 4-year-old. Let's check this fridge. Come on, what are we saying? Let me spin you guys around. 45%. So that has used just over 50% of its capacity in 48 hours with no solar input, no additional charging. But I have been asking that to be -2 degrees. Now, household fridge is probably about 4 degrees, so that is a little bit cooler than you would actually need it. It's just I like my drinks ice cold. So that is, if I'm honest, when I first heard that Blue Yeti was saying can last up to 6 days, I thought, yeah, of course it can, with not much in it, in the perfect conditions. But I reckon if I put that at 2-3 degrees, something like that, I reckon that's right. That's pretty cool.